You at? I'm live. What's up? We did it. Hello, FaceWebs, YouTubes, and LinkedIn. This is Matt Latham, Board Certified Master Arborist and tree expert, so-called, self-proclaimed, whatever. I'm also a registered consulting arborist through the American Society of Consulting Arborists. That's those guys right back there. And so glad to have you guys with us. This is Ask an Arborist live Q&A. We're coming through. We had like how many Lucas? How many we got? We got like 150 or something tree questions. It's getting out of control, you guys. Y'all slow it on down now. Actually, don't keep that up. I love it. So just so y'all know, 10 months ago, we started this channel. Currently, we are approximately 317 people strong every single week. So you're at the right place, clearly. This is a group where we come and we welcome great tree questions. Because here's the thing, is you love your trees, obviously. Otherwise, you wouldn't have questions about it. You wouldn't care. You'd just cut them down. But we started this group as a kind of a ministry, kind of an outreach, if you will, for people just like you to come on, ask their great tree questions, and hopefully get you the answers that you need so you can make the best decisions with your tree. Just so you know, we do this as a business as well. My company is arboristonthemand.com, and essentially we do telemedicine for trees, because if doctors can do it, why can't we? I found that like 90% of the time we can find the right answer for you, get you going in the right direction so that you can best manage the trees that you love and live under. So again, my name is Matt Latham. I'm a board certified master arborist. There's only about 600 of those globally, whatever that means. I'm also a registered consulting arborist, and there's only about 400 or 450 of those globally. These are guys that know what they're talking about, supposedly, and people that I've learned from personally. Actually, it was interesting. When I joined the American Society of Consulting Arborists, ASCA, I had a question, so I posted it in the forum with all the Cool People Club, the American Society of Consulting Arborists people. And I had people reaching out to me via email, separate from the exchange that we all partake in, and people that I have actually read their books. So it's really a neat organization. And quite frankly, they are setting the pace for tree care, for the things that we look at every single day. And anyway, so long story short, we're here to help you out. We do this on a business level. So if you have questions beyond what we're talking about here in the group chat, I'm happy to help you out. Just hit us up on the web at arboristonthemand.com. and fill out one of the forms there. There's so many ways to reach out to us. Just click on something. That'll get you going, get the ball rolling, and we can always do like a digital arborist consultation. Or if you just have questions, like feel free to reach out. Like we're happy to help out where we can. All right, so Lucas was telling me, what date was that? By the way, just so you all know, Lucas de la Vega is here with us. And he is my right-hand man. He keeps me organized and honest. We have so many cool people in this group. Guy Mayer is one of those top-notch professionals that like good money can't buy anymore. He's booked. We've got so many great people in this group. And let's go through and see where we were last time. As y'all know, we've been every Tuesday and Thursday coming on this live stream and bringing you the answers that you need for the trees that you love, because they're worth it. So where are we? What day was that on? You said the 19th? Holy wow, we're running behind, guys. We might have to do another like weekend session. Just so y'all know too, so this group is growing at an exponential rate. We had, I think it was 313 different people in the past week that have joined us. And for me as a professional, y'all, I am honored, so honored. Like, thank you guys so much for being a part of this group. It blows my mind that y'all are choosing to spend your time asking your questions here. You've got lots of options. We know that. We very much know that. And I'll just show you here real quick. We are, in the past week alone, we've gained 319 people. Excuse me. That brings us to a cumulative total of 2,107 people. That's nuts, you guys. That is absolutely nuts. On top of that, we've got nearly 400 people that have participated that are not members. So y'all do me a favor, click that join button and become a member. May as well. You're already here. You're already participating. And we'd love to have you as a loyal member to this group. So, all right, let's go. August 19th. Oh, my goodness. There's so many. It just, Lucas just telling me that just keep going. Don't just keep going. Just keep going. He's saying. So, Lucas, you're the best. Keep me honest and going in the right direction. He said, we're almost there. Have hope. I'm still scrolling, and I'm still scrolling, and I'm still scrolling. We are at that point in the day where all the cool kids are getting home from school, and they're going to play their stupid video games. August 19th. Okay. Okay, we're at August 26th, so August 19th was 5 days ago. Y'all, we're going to have to make this short, sweet, and to the point. This is crazy. All right, there's Luann. There's David Pop. There's Jen Hawks. Zonda? No. Oh, we did, didn't we? Zonda, I remember you. Strain. I remember Aaron Marie Strain. What's up, Aaron? I'm Matt. It's good to meet you. Let's do this. What is it? AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm Matt. I have a tree problem. I love trees and I love people. That's the problem. Hello, arborists and tree-loving friends. This is my beautiful oak, my soul oak, if you will. I don't know what that means, but I get that, actually. It was planted around 1952. That's so cool. Trees last for generations sometimes, you guys. Leaves look unhealthy, look healthy to the untrained eye. It's not sustained damage, no lightning, etc. But I notice what looks like sawdust on the base. Please help. It is my glorious oak dying or polluted by ants. Can this majestic beauty be saved? Okay, so anytime, Aaron, you see sawdust, what that is, we call it frass, which is a really fancy way of saying bug excrement. What's up, Roxas, whatever you are. Glad to have you here. Thanks for joining. So glad to have you. But Aaron, we are, anytime you see frass is what that's called. That is a sign of something chewing on your tree. That could be ants, that could be borers, etc. I don't see any exit wounds, which would be the borers. The ants sometimes will go into decayed wood. But what I see is a healthy, living, viable tree. I would assume that's probably borers. Oh, yeah, I see the frass there, the sawdust. So, yeah, you've got some boring insects. You earned a like, dude. What's up? Thank you. Hey, glad to have you here, man. Thanks so much for doing that. That actually really helps you guys. So if y'all are joining us or if you're following us live, please hit that like button. That really, really helps the algorithms. YouTube just changed their stupid rules, and they're making it impossible for us guys doing the right thing, at least I think. To get out there and get our names out there and really build a community. So hit that like button if you're here and you just joined. That would really help me out to push the algorithms out there and get this message out to many people. So hopefully, Rex, I really appreciate that. That's so awesome. But hopefully we're able to answer your questions. If you're here to learn, great. Keep hanging out with us. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesdays in the afternoons and Thursdays in the evenings. So love to have you here. But yeah, Aaron, I think you got borers. Overall, very healthy tree. Way to not over prune it. That's so critical. But I would look into borer injections. Maybe you could do like a trunk spray, or you could do a injection. Oh, you're awesome, man. Thanks so much, Roxas. That's great. I will share you 20 times to my whole family. Hey, keep clicking, man. That's fantastic. That really helps a lot. So glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. And we're doing this, like I said, a couple times a week. So I'd love to have you here next Tuesday or next Thursday as well, or this coming Thursday. Excuse me, here in a couple days. And that's when we do our big, like 2 to 3 hour session, and we really try to knock some things out. This Tuesday is more to just get caught up than anything. So. Aaron, it looks like you've got an awesome tree. What I would say, I'm beautifying in the next year. What I would say is you probably got a borer issue, and you need to address that. The main thing is A, stop the bleeding, B, improve the health. So let me show you a couple products that I really like. My Shopify. I like them so much, I became a distributor of a brand called MicroLife. And they've got some unbelievably cool products, mostly not fertilizers, y'all. Fertilizers, as many of you know, I'm not a fan of. Biostimulants, I am absolutely a fan of. So here's one of them. Once you get the borers suppressed, and you might need to find a local guy that can actually come in and do the injections themselves. But yeah, you've got a gorgeous tree. I hope we can save this glorious tree. Aaron, you've got a glorious tree. I'm just going to say it straight up. So I would love to help you on that journey. We do essentially digital arborist consultations. I learned a long time ago, hey, if the medical community can go on there and they can do essentially telemedicine, right? That's the word for it. If they can do telemedicine, why can't we do telemedicine for trees? So if you'd like, we can take a closer look, really figure out exactly what's going on and get a good game plan together. Make sure your tree starts thriving and growing. And yeah, you got an awesome red oak there. Where are you, Aaron? That's a beautiful tree. Definitely worth saving and preserving. So, hey, thanks so much for joining and be a part of this community and for your great questions. Oops, there's my client. All right, and we are moving on. So Jen, by the way, great name, Jen. That is my wife's name, and she's the love of my life. Now, fortunately, she spells it a little different. She spells it with 2 N's because 2 is more than 1. So nothing personal. But hey, you've got a great looking tree there. Looks like it's going through some summer stress. 2 pin oaks planted last spring. Beautiful until 2 weeks ago. Planted at the right depth. No chemical around. Beautiful. Love that. Located in Idaho. What the heck happened? Well, Idaho, I know, has a more of a sandy clay loam mixture. So they're actually pretty good soils. But I would assume you probably got some water issues. That's what that looks like to me there, Jen. You look like you've got either too much or too little water. Too much, by the way, can mean the exact right amount with very poor drainage. So let me give you a link to this video that we did not too long ago, maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. And essentially it is about, by the way, for those of you that don't know, we do a YouTube channel as well. And the whole point of it is to essentially just create great information for you as the tree owner/manager to be able to go in and just learn a little bit about the trees that you love and live under. So love to have you guys as a subscriber to our YouTube channel as well. But hey, if nothing else, it really helps us out. So we'd love to have you as a subscriber to our YouTube channel. So that helps us get the right information to you guys. Okay, so Jen's saying we live in the desert, super dry here, no fertilizer, 90 to 100 degrees. Okay, so looks like there's somebody saying like iron defensively due to much rain and not iron in soil. I actually disagree. I think this is probably a water, a drainage issue, or a combination thereof. And hey, great question, Rexus. Yeah, please ask your questions away. That we love that kind of stuff. Please ask away. So very good question. Hey, hope that helps, Jen. I think you've got a drainage issue or too much water going on. One of the two, and it could be a combination thereof. But yeah, remove those rocks, radial trenching. You may need to remove those girdling roots. Hey, solid advice, Lucas. What's up, buddy? I hear you. Always way too much water. Always so much water. I think you wash the dirt off the roots to see what is going on. I don't know what that means, but yeah, my best guess would be you've got too much water going on, either that or too much or a lack of drainage. Okay, so let's get to one of our live questions here. Raxus is asking, my question would be, what tree can I show my girl to impress her? She's a redhead punk. It's probably got Asian genes that I can fertilize slash, oh my goodness. I'm not going to repeat that. What's up, JK? Glad to have you here. Hey, thanks for being there. Metal, yellow, first, red. I don't know what that means, but so something special, something with history, maybe. Hey, there's a Facebook group. It's Big Tree Seekers, I think. But here's another one: Texas Historic Tree Coalition. There you go. There's some good people up in here. I have registered multiple trees as historic, and that is actually a strategy that we used to actually stop some municipal destruction going on. Hey, this time's great. Yeah, what's up, JK? Glad to have you here. All right, so yeah, there's a bunch of options, but let's move on with it. So the question was, what tree can I show my girl to impress her? She's a redhead punk that probably got Asian genes. That's hilarious. So that I can fertilize the tree afterwards. I'm assuming. Let's leave it at that. What's up, Praxis? That's hilarious. I mean, in fact, a bold but real question. Let's hear it. Let's hear it, Dark Prince. It is, in fact, a bold but real question. Yeah. I love Baroques. Baroque, by the way, Raxus. So since you're a pervert, obviously, and you're going in that direction with these questions, there's a tree called Quercus macrocarpa. Macrocarpa means macro is big and carpa is fruited. So hope that helps, man. That's hello. Test check. All right, can you see me now? All right, I'm so sorry, guys. We're having some tech issues. What are you going to do, y'all? There it is. Okay, so it's showing as good on my screen. So David was asking about these girdling roots. Yeah, David, you got to cut those, man. I would say go ahead and cut them now. If you can wait till winter, maybe that's a little bit better. A little bit, not a bunch, but you've got to stop the bleeding there. So y'all, just so you know, anytime you've got roots that are girdling across the trunk flare, that's going to put a hindrance on the tree no matter what you do. So it's very, very, very important that you get those girdling roots out of there, because it's like stopping the bleeding. Like, you got to stop the bleeding. The bleeding is those roots are compressing against the trunk tissue, cutting out the circulation, just like a bad pair of shoes or a tourniquet. So don't do that. If you can avoid it, get those roots out there. Now, I will say this, David, is I'm not seeing anything in the upper canopy. So I say that without knowing, is this tree stressed? Is it dying? Unaliving? Is it doing really well? That's going to make a difference. So if it's really doing well, go ahead and cut them all. If it's not doing so hot, Go ahead and cut maybe 1 or 2 of them and then leave the rest for winter or next season. So hope that helps, David. Moving on. Luann's asking, had these giant green arbs. Arb, by the way, is arborvitae. Arborvitae. That's Thuja occidentalis. That's actually a tree that I'm working on a couple of litigation cases on. Watered 2 to 3 times per week, depending on temps, weather. Good. I love that proactive, being willing to adjust according to what's going on environmentally. Notice this on some leaves, look almost burned, but also seems like some leaves were partly rust/black. Yeah, that looks like almost a ceridium canker to me. Oh no, ceridium canker is not going to be Thuja occidentalis. Trees look good and are growing. Watered full sun, 6 feet apart. Too much water, not enough. I would take a wild stab in the dark, and I would say, what do you mean? I didn't delete your question. What are you talking about? You shouldn't have deleted my question. I didn't. What are you talking about, Raxus? I mean, we haven't deleted anything. Not that I know of. Luke is telling me he didn't delete it either. So, no, your question's still there. Oh, yeah. Hey, Raxus. Hey, I'm sorry if it did get deleted. We've got robots working on these things too, because, like, quite frankly, we're growing at a rate of about 320 per week. And we're just a small ragtag bunch of idiot tree guys. And we don't. So there's a very real possibility that it did delete your question on accident on robot style. So it got deleted. I've seen it. What's up, Dark Prince? Yeah, so probably what happened is the AI decided that it was against our policies and deleted it. So feel free to repost your question, man. Hey, I'd love to have that question. Just send it in maybe a different format that doesn't look as spammy. What area of the US are you from / practicing? Hey, that's a great question. Zorro Kitty, thanks for the great question. I personally am in Houston right now, but hey, that's a great question because I worked all over the US, East Coast, West Coast, in between desert, forest, you name it. I've done a lot of tree work in a lot of different places, and that's why I feel maybe I'm qualified to answer some of y'all's great questions. So, man, I'm really sorry, Raxus, that he says, really not meant in a harmful manner. We couldn't find it. Lucas is over there looking right now, Raxus. So I'm sorry that happened, but yeah, post it again, dude. Post it again. Let's see if we can get it up there. Listen, if it's not spammy or scammy or perverted in nature, we're gonna post it because like y'all's questions are not dumb. They're just like what's that? There's no dumb questions, just dumb people or something. That's a joke. That's not true. There's no dumb questions because, quite frankly, that's how we learn. We get better by asking questions and learning something new, and then applying that to everything we do moving forward. So, yeah, bring it on, man. I'm not offended by that. I'm sorry. The robots clearly were, but feel free to post it again. We'll see if we can get it pushed through there because, yeah, that's important. So. Okay, I'm looking at Luann's question about her arborvitae. It's not telling me a lot. I think probably that looks fungal. You've probably got some fungal pathogens going on. I'm not sure specific epithet. That would be more for a lab to determine. But feel free to check it out. Up on our website, we've got a blog that's basically all of the agricultural extensions. So I think it would be good to go ahead and post that on there and reach out to one of those guys. But yeah, I think you've got too much water or a lack of drainage is going to be the core issue there, the root cause, if you will, of what's going on there. So, oh, what a question. Okay, so Zorro Kitty, what's up? Hey, thanks so much for the great questions, by the way. Which area, East, West, Central, has the most issues in Southeast U.S.? I've been working in retail and wholesale nurseries for 7 to 8 years. Hey, thank you for all that you do. By the way, hold on. Zorro, I'm not sure if you knew this or not, but you guys have ANSI standards. That's ANSI Z. These are American Nursery and American Standards for Nursery Stock. That's ANSI Z60.1 right down there. That may not be even visible, but you get the point. Z60.1. You'll actually have standards for the nursery stock that you have. And so the question is, which area, east, west, central, has the most issues? Yes, is the answer. Yes, they've all got issues, and most of it is because poor practices, poor arboriculture, poor horticulture, poor nursery culture, just really poor practices all around. And I see it every day in so many different facets of tree care that I deal with. And so, man, be a part of the solution, not a part of the problem. Get to know your ANSI Z60.1 standards. That will actually make a huge difference for guys like me who actually plant those trees that we buy from you guys. So what a great question, though. Man, Zora, I really appreciate you being here. That is very important. It starts at the nursery, unfortunately, and we've got to have good people like you that are doing the right things so that good people like me, humble opinion, unbiased, can go out and plant great trees. So moving on. Yeah, Luann, I think you've got a water/drainage issue, and maybe too much and maybe too little. I'm not sure, but if you could tell me a little bit about what's going on, that would greatly help. Oh no, I did it again. Lucas, help. Lucas did the same thing. He clicked out of it. Oh man. Welcome to the clown show, you guys. You got a bunch of clowns running this operation here. So, Lauren Newby. Oh, y'all, we're going to get to this one. This is so fun. Ingy. I don't know what your name is. I'm sorry. Let's go. We're going to Lauren, though. What's up, Stephen Eister? Oh, y'all. Okay, I had to. Lucas, let him in. If you see Stephen on there, let him in and tell him to join us right now. Stephen Eister is he runs a company called arborists.institute.com, and I am speaking and teaching about how to preserve trees and replenish trees after. Oh, he's in there. Find him if you can. If you got time, Lucas. I would love to have Stephen in there. But that would be amazing. Stephen, if we can get you in there, we're getting you in there, buddy. And hopefully that. Okay, so Stephen is actually part of the Tampa. I believe he's on part of the Parks and Rec department. He could be part of the what's the word I'm looking for? Building inspections portion of Tampa. But anyways, he's a great dude, and he loves trees, loves people just like me. And it was funny because I was actually signing up for a class, and I was like, hey buddy, I've got a problem. I can't join your class. I'd love to pay you and give you money. And he was like, hey, I see you online. Would you like to participate and maybe teach some? And I was like, yes, absolutely. That's kind of what I do, is teach people about the trees they love and live around. So anyways, that began the beginnings of a beautiful relationship. And Stephen and I have been on several endeavors where we teach about trees together. So he's a great dude. Like I said, part of the what are you part of, Stephen? Planning? Are you part of? I don't even remember. But anyways, great city of Tampa, Florida. And he happens to be an arborist. He's on LinkedIn. Yeah, I'm friends with him on LinkedIn if you want to check and see it. Have I been to New York City? I absolutely have been to New York City. It said he was there trying to participate for the first time. Vincent of Predator Latino. I don't know what that means, dude. Have you been to New York City? Yes, I have been to New York City. Okay. Yo, what's up, buddy? So you're from Tampa. Yeah, Stephen Eister. John, I just saw that notification. I'm trying to get back to where we were because we were talking trees here, you guys. We're talking about important matters that matter to you guys. All right. I'm only 22 years old, from Florida, born and raised. What's up, Vincent? Glad to have you, buddy. stay tuned because, man, we teach about this stuff all day, every day, and mostly on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So, but we need good. Here's the thing: whenever you look in a forest, you got old trees. There's my fingers. There it is. Old trees, and you got new trees. All of those are important both for the current status of the forest and for the future status of the forest. So stay tuned, buddy. We need good people like you that are 22, starting their career, trying to figure out what they want to do when they grow up for a living. I don't recommend tree care, but if you do decide that, it's a great industry. I love what I do, but I do not like my industry. So maybe you can be a part of the change and a part of the improvement thereof. So where the heck are we, Lucas? We're talking Lisa, Lauren Newbie. What's up, Lauren? Hey, thanks so much for your question. Great question. We bought and planted this autumn blaze maple in May or June. It looked great until now. We've had a wet summer. Could it be too much water? Yes. That to me looks like exactly too much water. Yes, trees are awesome. Amen, Christine. Trees are very awesome. Y'all don't even know. Like everything that even if you're a carnivore, on the carnivore diet or whatever, like every one of those freaking animals, like cows, guess what they eat? Grass. So plants are a very important part of your life, whether you want to admit it or not. So yes, trees are awesome. Christine, great point. By the way, just so y'all know, Christine has been a wonderful part of this community. She goes on there and she's been kind of learning from me and learning from Lucas and helping to answer y'all's questions. So we made her a moderator and we're so glad to have her. So thanks so much for being here, Christine. You're awesome and keep it up. You're doing a great job. So, but back to Lauren's question. I think, yeah, that's too much water. What you need to do is allow the water to drain out of there. This is going to be a great resource for you. I would do the vertical or radial trenching. Oh, that's a good point. Christine's saying it was maybe planted too deep. Let's take a look at it. Yep, planted too deep. And oh my goodness, there's so much water there. You got to stop watering that particular little hole in the ground. You got to water outside of that hole. Looks like you're in where are you at? Iowa? Idaho? I don't know. There's corn back there for whatever it is, wherever you are. Probably a clay soil. Yeah, you want to make sure there's plenty of drainage in that, Lauren, and make sure the soil is able to drain prior to re-irrigating that soil. It's going to be very important. So, Wisconsin. What's up, Wisconsin? Glad to have you here. South Central Wisconsin. Yeah. So you've probably got a clay, sandy loam clay. Probably got a really nice soil, actually. But it looks to me, correct me if I'm wrong, looks to me that you planted about the same size as the actual planting container. So you want to make sure to expand that. The radial trenching is going to be your best friend. And yes. Hey, what's up, Arborist Institute? Hey, you made it, buddy. Hey, what's up, man? Y'all, so any of you arbos, arbros or arbroettes, Arborist Institute is awesome. They provide all sorts of different speakers from all different walks and backgrounds, and they're great organization, and they teach the teachers essentially. So these are the guys that teach the arborists that are out there performing work on a regular day-to-day basis. And Stephen, thanks again for being here, man. Glad to have you and glad to be a part of what you're doing. And yes, we're ready to rock and roll Wednesday or Thursday. I'm sorry, I saw your email earlier. I've been out in the field all day. So hope that helps you guys. And again, hit up Arborist Institute. If you got a minute, go to their website and you want to learn more about trees. This is a very, very, very good resource for you. I only say that because I'm biased and I love these guys, not just because I'm a part of them. So thanks for being here, Steven. You rock. And hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you Thursday, if not sooner. So. All right, Deborah's asking, please help. This is my chase tree. That, by the way, chase tree is another word for vitex, which is another word for Texas lilac. I'm assuming you probably live in Texas. Let's see, nobody knows. It's planted in my sandy soil, so probably the west side of Dallas. But it has grown and has been blooming several weeks back. It has some yellow leaves, trim them off. Now it has a branch and leaves that are brown and unlived. I give it 10, 10, 10 in June after it grabbed. I don't know what that means. Please advise. Thank you. Now, first of all, anytime, check this out. Where'd it go? I know I had that. Here it is. This is what we're talking about on Arborist Institute tomorrow. What about fertilization? Maybe you can read that. Maybe you can't. I'll post it here and you can pause it and go back on that. But what about fertilization? Fertilization should be limited immediately following construction damage. Salts, here's the kicker. Salts associated with quick release fertilizers can draw water out of roots and into the soil. Excess nitrogen can stimulate top growth at the expense of root growth. Y'all, one of the worst things that you can do is fertilize your tree right after it's stressed. That's so bad. Don't do it. Use biostimulants, improve oxygen levels into the soil. Give it a little extra water, maybe if you need to. But do not fertilize your stressed trees. That's so bad. I cannot tell you how many times I have seen that be the nail in the coffin that drives your tree under into the grave. So, anyways, getting back to it. Deborah, I'm sorry. I got a little bunny trail there. 10, 10, 10 in June after a grab, please advise. What I would recommend is actually doing some radial trenching. Pull away whatever plant is at the bottom there and make sure to expose the root flares to the base of the tree / push the mulch away so the tree can get oxygen. Yes. Oxygen is going to be your best friend here. Aaron, I'm sorry excuse me, Deborah. The problem is not a lack of fertilizer. I had a chiropractor years ago and they had a poster and it said ear infections are not due to a lack of antibiotics. It's no different with trees. All these issues you're experiencing is the tree is getting established. You probably got too much water, which is suffocating essentially the root system, creating an anaerobic condition, and you've got to get more oxygen out of the soil. That radial trenching, the video that I posted you, is going to be a very, very cool thing that you can do at home. Very simple. Just make sure to do it right according to the instructions in that video, and you should see some good results there, Deborah. So hope that helps, and we are moving on. Yeah, by the way, guys, I have made a commitment to go ahead and post some of the videos and things that we do that I shoot on a regular basis, just as an educational resource for you guys. So we would love to have you on the tubes of you over. You can just hit us up. Just go to YouTube and look up Arborist on Demand. I'm doing at least 1 to 2 to 3 to 5 videos per week to make sure that y'all get some great tree care information. We love you guys. That's exactly why I do this, is to make sure that you got good, solid, science-based research and technology out there. So moving on, this, you guys. Oh, Ingi, I'm so sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name wrong. But y'all, we had a wonderful conversation with Miss Ingi, and I went ahead because here's the thing. I saw so many comments. This is what, 50 some odd comments deep. Let's go ahead and look at it real quick. That's garbage. Done. I disagree with that respectfully. Mulch may help. Never allow grass to grow all the way up to the trunk. Solid advice. Y'all, so if you want to have a little fun, go through on Ingian's post about her tree that has very little information, yet somehow got so much attraction and so many people coming on here and commenting. But essentially, you got a stressed oak. This is a process called retrenchment. And essentially what the tree's doing is saying, hey, I'm stressed. It makes, yeah, right, 103 comments, good Lord. That's poor Ingi. NG, I'm so sorry, Miss Ann. I'm going to call you Miss Ann because that works for me better. 103 comments. That's absurd. Maybe half of those were mine, Christine. So in all fairness, but I started seeing like, holy cow, this is getting crazy. So she fortunately did post some other more detailed pictures later on. So we'll get to that either today or Thursday. But Yeah, we've said way too much on that one. Long story short, Ingy and Miss Ann, I don't think your tree's unalived yet. You've got a retrenchment process going on. You do definitely have a stress tree, but I don't think it's unalived yet. I think you need to do some things to improve oxygen infiltration down to the soil, which will help the roots, which will help the overall health and vitality of the tree. But yeah, I don't see it as a dead tree. I see it as a very stressed tree, which needs a little bit of TLC. And yeah, we'll continue this conversation. Y'all join the conversation. We'd love to have you. All right. So Michelle's asking, so glad I found this group. I have new property preparing to build and the excavator hurt my pine tree. Y'all, construction guys do not care about your trees. I spent all day yesterday dealing with a crooked construction guy. By the way, I had a game plan and a goal to work on. I told you I was teaching for Arborist Institute. Well, I need to do some work on that presentation. It's got a little work. Stephen, I'm sorry, I'm not 100% prepared yet, but I'm more of a by the seat of your pants kind of guy anyways. So hope you can deal up with that. But I meant to spend all day yesterday working on that and really getting it down to a science. And I wound up just defending myself because a construction guy damaged trees and refused to take responsibility or accountability for it. Most beautiful tree on the property. What steps do I take to heal it? That's what Michelle needs to know. Your best bet is to do not seal it. Do not put anything on that wound. Leave it alone. That's so important, Michelle. What you want to do is increase the overall health and vitality of the tree. One of the best ways I know to do that is to increase oxygen levels. And I'll give you a couple of different products that I really like as well. That will go, you can just, this is one of those like you can do at home, guys. Most of the time, you guys can do little things that will make a huge difference to make sure that your trees are healthy and thriving. So I'm going to post a couple of these. I'm sure tons of stress on your trust. We were worried about a scrape. If you fell and scraped your it'll grow new skin knee, I'm assuming. It'll grow new skin back. This is exactly what this is. Yes, I actually agree with that. Marvo, that's actually pretty solid. Cedar Park, what's up, buddy? Yeah, Cedar Park. I know you. You're in the northwest side of Austin. A friend of mine actually sold a job to Cedar Park, the city of Cedar Park, and the company that he worked for, unfortunately, botched the contract, and they wound up getting fired from the job. So, unfortunately, that's just how it goes sometimes. But yeah, I think NG, you've got a stress tree, and we'll talk, I'm sure. But Michelle, you've also got a damaged tree. You've got to give the tree extra resources to make sure that it has the resources that it needs to thrive and grow. But yeah, I'm not too concerned about it. I've seen way worse that we've seen really good results on the backside of things. So not a huge deal, but you definitely want to do some things to counteract the stressors. And the other thing too is if they're coming in and they're going to do some work on the tree, it would be really good for us to get on a Zoom chat, on a digital arborist consultation, and see if we can't get a good game plan. So sorry, I said yo. That's unprofessional of me. On construction projects, I like to do a really cool thing, Michelle. This is crazy cool. I'll go ahead and draw it out for you too. TPO. That stands for Tree Protection Ordinance. Now, it's not a true ordinance, right? Ordinance implies that there's certain legal obligations and certain legal consequences. But what we do, we draw a tree protection ordinance. What that does is we have a meeting with the contractors. And we say, these trees are important. If you damage them, they are worth money. So every one of those contractors that are working on your house, we can hold them liable by saying these trees are worth money, and if you don't follow the tree protection ordinances, then you are held liable for that money. So that is one thing. I remember I was in a ASCA conference. ASCA is the American Society of Consulting Arborists. These are the best of the best, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn. These are guys that I deeply respect, and essentially what they do is they set the standards for tree care ordinances, tree planning and protection and reporting, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, Rivers, I would disagree with you. I would say leave it alone, keep it open. Do those things. Do the Microlife, the 624, the Ocean Harvest, the Humates Plus, and just give the tree what it needs. But it would be really good. New property, preparing to build in the excavator. So you're preparing to build. It would be really good to set a tree protection ordinance. Make sure that we describe that to those professionals that are coming on your property and doing work there, and make sure to hold them accountable. So yeah, I'd love to help you out with that. Again, did I post the website? Yeah, arboristonDemand.com/digital arborist consultation. I'd love to help you. If we can, let's get on a digital arborist consultation, figure out what needs to happen to make sure all your trees are the best and they thrive and survive through construction. But I'd love to help you out there. Hit that link and schedule a time with me. Cassandra's asking my dad, where you at? Planted these maples years ago. Toward the end of the year last year, we noticed some of the lower branches starting to unalive off. This year, it seems like there are more unaliving branches, but then the new leaves are forming near the trunk of the tree. I noticed the maple next to it also installing to get some discoloration on the installing. Maybe that's a typo. What could be causing this? Is there anything we can do to save them? All right, Cassandra, let's take a look at it. Maples are not my favorite tree. They have their problems just like any tree, but there are some that have fewer problems. If you're in the north, northwest, northeast, a lot of times maples do really, really well. So I'm not seeing, Wyoming. What's up, Wyoming? Okay, yeah, so you've got leaf spotulism. That's not a word, but you got leaf spot. Those are fungal pathogens. So what you want to do is you want to make sure to allow the tree to drain prior to re-irrigating. That's going to be really, really, really important. Let's see if we can find it. I always have so many different videos that I post. Hundreds and hundreds. We're up to like 250 now. And I don't know if y'all noticed, I love what I do. I don't like my industry very much because they're pathetic. But I love what I do. So y'all feel free to join us over on the Tubes of You. Look up Arborist on Demand. And we go on there and, like I said, just post videos all the time about how to take care of your trees properly. But that's a great one. I think what you've got is exactly what Christine said. She's saying compact. How compacted is the soil? Have you used any sort of fungicide or herbicide? I think that is a leaf spot type fungal pathogen, typically isolated to the fungus. Probably not going to unalive the tree, but definitely worth taking a look at. So yeah, hope that helps. But yeah, we are moving on. How are we looking on time, Lucas? We doing okay, or we're just like dying? We're doing all right. Okay, all right is better than terrible, in my humble opinion. No, you're slow. I'm not slow. You're slow. He says I'm taking a lot of time on these. But y'all, he's absolutely right. We're getting a lot of great interaction. So thank you guys so much for participating in this conversation, because that's all this is. It's a conversation. We're looking at these trees and determining what needs to happen to make sure y'all's trees thrive and survive and do really well for you. So we're going on to Anonymous's question. The Japanese maple was planted in the wrong place. Seems so. Where are you from? Don't know. Receives full hot summer sun all day from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's not too close to any dedicated irrigation, and it is in a planter of drought-tolerant cactus. Wow, that's not good. I'm going to second Michael's. Michael, thank you so much for being here, buddy. Yeah, Michael is a phenomenal arborist. He's not an arborist. He's a registered consulting arborist, or soon to be. Dang it, I did it again. But Michael has been a great resource to this community. He's been answering so many of y'all's questions, and he's a great guy, great arborist. I went to Arborist Consulting Academy at ASCA with him, and just a great arborist, knows his stuff. So if you see Michael on here posting, y'all take heed. Take note and take heed, because he is the authoritative answer to all your questions, maybe more than I am even. I don't know. All right, so we do have a question from Zorro Kitty. As I mentioned before, I have a lot of garden center / wholesale / retail experience. Still young, 23. Keep it up. You'll be a professional before you know it. I don't have a degree. Me neither. I'm a proud college dropout. Do I try to move up the garden center chain or tri-state land? Yeah, that's a great question. And maybe we could talk a little bit more outside of this conversation, but on a private scale. But yeah, there are so many routes you could take with arboriculture, and it doesn't seem that way. It seems like you've got like just one route is you got to go do tree work, but actually there are so many routes you could take with arboriculture. I like, we need paper arborists just like we need field arborists, just like we need climbing arborists. It's just like any system is like, if the human body was made up of only livers, nothing would get done. We wouldn't digest. I'd love to pick your brain. I don't actually. No, I don't talk on Discord. Maybe I should. I don't know. Lucas, tell me. Like, should I be on Discord? I don't know. I'm like an old head. I don't know if you notice. I got gray hair all over the place. So I'm like an old guy. But what I'm doing is wait, hold on. He says it's just another thing I'd have to monitor. So maybe not. I'm probably not going to talk on Discord, Zorro, but man, I really appreciate you being here, and I would love for you to pick my brain, and I'd love to help you out any way that I can. We need more people that are passionate in the tree care industry. Unfortunately, it's the wild west. There are no regulations, which I'm working to improve. We're going to get this industry regulated, whether I like it or not, because quite frankly, I think that's one of the only ways to unalive to stop the unaliving of my friends. I know so many people that are not alive today because they did tree care too long. And unfortunately, like, gravity happens. And so it's a serious industry. But Zorro, hit me up, shoot me a private message. I'd love to talk to you and maybe see if we can get you pointed in the right direction. There's so many sources out there. We just got to make sure it's the right one. You're learning from the right people, because I did it both ways. I've learned from the guys that don't know what they're talking about, and I've learned from the guys that do know what they're talking about. My favorite mentor had no idea what he's doing, but he taught me really good work ethic, which is why I'm here today and able to talk to you guys, just because he taught me work ethic. So there's that, and there's also understanding the tree. So both are very, very, very important. All right. And I'm like doing terrible on time. I'm just going to call it like it is, but where are we at? Mike Roberg. But yeah, Zorro, I would love to have that conversation. Hit me up on my email. There you go. Yeah, shoot me an email, Zorro. I would love to have that conversation with you, because that's important, that the next generation gets going in the right direction, and we're able to just continue to further the industry. Like, it's a really cool industry. So, all right. Okay, so where were we? That was a little before that one. Mike Roberg, is that right? What's up, Mike? Glad to have you, buddy. Thanks for the question. Storm damage, Manitoba maple, box elder. Actually, box elder, funny story with box elder. I was in the Fort Worth Botanic Gardens up in Fort Worth back in my Dallas Fort Worth days, and I had a contract with the Women's Garden, Women's Center for the Fort Worth Botanic Gardens. What's really unique about the Fort Worth Botanic Gardens, it's individually managed. So each section is kind of like its own little entity, kind of like the United States is a group of lots of different entities: Texas, New Mexico, South Dakota, North Carolina, whatever. Very similar type of management system. So, Mike, great question. So I was in the Fort Worth Botanic Gardens, screaming. I'm up like 80 feet up in this this hackberry, screaming at my guys because I think my rope is in poison ivy. And I get down on the ground, and this wonderful human named David McDonald. He's a true hero in my book. Just sweet as can be, knows trees. He taught me vertical mulching, by the way. Drill holes and backfill with compost and mulch and fertilizer. And he got me introduced to some old school tree care techniques. He says, Matt, I think I know what that poison ivy was. I said, oh yeah, Dave, what's that? He says, I think it's box elder. So what we're looking at is box elder. They have leaves that look, at least from 80 feet up in the air, look exactly like poison ivy. And I yelled at some people without justification. I'm a jerk. That's right, is what I'm saying. I'm sorry, Justin, and I'm sorry, David. And I think Uter was in there too. So Uter, if you're ever with us, and I'm sorry. Uter's a nickname, obviously. His name is Josh. Great dude. But all those guys got yelled at by yours truly unjustifiably because I saw a poison ivy tree, which was actually just a box elder. The lower trunk is hanging and resting on lower branches. Tried to ratchet it back together, but it's too heavy. Well, that makes sense. Can I cut back beyond the split on the hanging side and ratchet and bolt the vertical back together to save it? I don't know. Oh, okay. I see it. Okay, I see it. Mike, we're going to have to look at this a little more individually. Let me send you the link to the tree care consultation. But yes, long story short, there's actually some really great solutions to your problem, and I would love to help you out. The main thing is we've got to make sure structure is good. That's very, very, very important. The structure is beyond the health in this case, because you can have a really structurally decrepit tree and it breaks and smashes into smithereens. And if you got a really healthy tree, which it looks like, but it falls on your house, you've got nothing. So let's talk a little bit further. But yeah, that I think it can. I think there's a few things, and we talked about maybe in the last segment that we did some techniques to bolt and cable the tree. I think that would be a really good use case in this case scenario. So moving on, Andrea's asking, hello, we have a 10-year-old cypress tree leaning towards our house. We're concerned that it may become a problem in the future, potentially falling in the house. Can something be done to address this issue? Can it be anchored to grow away from the house? Yes. Let's see what the comments are saying. Y'all, this is getting out of control. We are growing by approximately 300 per week. So it's getting to a point where I have no control over this whatsoever anymore. But I'm happy to come in here on these live streams and do whatever we can to teach you guys. So concerned that then maybe a problem in the future, potentially falling in the house. Can something be done to address this issue? Two things. Where are we at? Two things: structure and health. Structure and health. Those are very important. If you don't have structure, you got a fallen tree that's on your house. If you don't have health, you've got an unalive tree that needs to be gone. So that's going to be very important. Let's go back to the drawing board. I don't actually see your tree, and I don't know exactly what's going on, but I can opine and say just a couple of general principles here. So if you're really genuinely worried about the tree falling, let's say this is your tree, you got a branch here, there's your house, right? You don't want that limb to fall on your house. That's not good. What we can do is actually run a structural support cable from this limb to this limb, and that's going to tie the two together, making sure that they move as one in those inclement weathers and storms, etc. And so that's going to be really important. This would be one of those cases we really need to look at on an individual basis. So again, let me link you this. But I would hop on there and do a digital arborist consultation, and let's just have a conversation, figure out what the best plan to manage your tree is, because I think it seems like you've got a great tree, but maybe just needs a cypress tree is one of my favorite. Is it just needs a little structural support to make sure that it doesn't fall on your house. Who wants to wake up to a tree that they love being on their house? I don't. Maybe that's just me. How often do you do the virtual consultations? Hey, we got a question from Sprouting Arborist. Yo, that is a great question. The answer is 2 to 3 times a day. How often do you do virtual consultations? I just finished. Oh, what happened? I just finished cross country practice. LOL. I do 2 to 3 a day. Yeah, honestly. And I'm looking to ramp that up actually and do even more. I'm getting sick and tired of driving around. Even the people that I love here in Houston that I take care of their trees, it's just getting overwhelming for me. So I'd rather be here talking to you guys and hanging out with my family. Y'all can hear my my littlest one here. She's like, Dada. So we're getting to a pretty close point to where we're going to have to call it for the day. Oh yeah. Hey, that's awesome. Christine makes a really good point. I like your bald cypress video about putting them in ditches and retention ponds. And that's just not just a remark on cypresses and bald cypresses, but any tree. You want to make sure that the tree is designed for the location that it's going to be in. Don't just think in terms of what problems are going to solve now. You want to think in terms of what's it solve now, what's it solve 50 years down the road. Because realistically, trees can and do very often last 50 plus years. Let's see what the comments are saying. If the tree's been leaning like that its whole life, then it's grown reaction wood to compensate for the leaning and is likely fine. Yes, and I actually agree wholeheartedly with Kristen's comment there. It's so true. Wow. James, what do you do? Tree and stump grind, quality tree and stump grinding. So what you do for a living is you kill trees, James. Nothing personal. You are a tree killing company. There's 2 types of companies in tree care: tree preservation and care companies and tree killing companies. So many of y'all are tree killing companies. Yes, you know how to rig a big tree down to the ground and get it done safely. Y'all, I have done literally thousands of crane removals. We used to go around and we would remove trees with cranes around power lines. The goal, float the tree away from the human and away from the power line. That's the number one job of the crane operator. Make sure not to crush the power line. Make sure not to crush the guy in the tree. And that's all we did. We thousands of crane removals around power lines. But I'm sorry, James, I got to disagree with you. Don't listen to this arborist wannabe. Protect your home and remove the tree. It's actually not Kristen that's talking about that. It's Andrea. So you tagged the wrong person there. I respectfully disagree. I think you should preserve the tree if you can, if it's viable. If it's a large tree, then less than likely best option, unfortunately, is to remove. But hey, share pictures of it. Maybe something can be done. Thanks. We'll get pictures tomorrow. Love that. Send me pictures, because sounds like we're getting some great advice, some not so great advice, and we got some tree killers on the loose, y'all. Unfortunately, so many tree care companies are actually tree killer companies. That's what they do professionally. You know, there's that old joke: if you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Tree guys are the same way, plain and simple. All right, so Ingi Ann, and again, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. What makes a tree grow so that it's slimmer at the base of the main trunk? We had a beautiful Japanese maple and it lived for 10 years. I noticed at the very base of the tree, it was constricted as if something had wrapped around it. Great idea. You're on the right path there, Ingi Ann. Ingi, NG. I'm so sorry. I'm probably like the biggest jerk of the year, but finally unalive when we pulled it out. It was not full of roots going around the tree. That area, this girdling was about 5 to 6 inches tall above the ground. And then after the narrow part, the trunk got normal again and was normal looking, except for the tight girdle area around the ground. That would be girdling roots. and I know we had kind of somewhat of a conversation about that, but I'm like, now that I'm rereading it and rereading it and rereading it, I think you've got a girdling root and it is messing up your tree. Just make sure that moving forward, the next tree does not do that. Moving on. Ashley's asking, hello, new to the group. I'm wondering if anyone can get me some advice on what's going on with my mother's 15-ish year old magnolia. That looks like a bay magnolia, not like a southern. The southern have the big, or maybe a saucer magnolia. The southern magnolias have those big white flowers. The saucers and bays have those big pink flowers. Either way, magnolias are awesome. I love magnolias. There was an apple tree about 15 feet apart that went from just fine to dry and unalived over this last winter. Now this one, where you at, Ashley? Don't know. This one has a black film on the leaves and all these fungus / pods on the branches. Nothing to our knowledge has been sprayed / treated in the area. Here's your problem. The problem, Ashley, is not a fungus problem. What it is a fungus problem started by a bug problem. The bug problem is you've got these chewing and sucking pests that are essentially stealing the life out of the tree. Now, every bug, going full screen. Public service announcement. Every bug on this planet was born without a pancreas, meaning every bug that's going to attack this tree, your tree, your neighbor's tree, your neighbor's tree, your neighbor down in California, whatever, their tree, was born without a pancreas, meaning they do not have the ability to metabolize sugar. And so what they're doing is all that sugar they get out of the tree is passing through and they defecate. They take care of their business on your leaves. The fungus grows on that. So let's see. Andrew Ayers, tree service, black sooty mold. Andrew, fantastic point, buddy. Well done. You got sooty mold caused by insects. This is solid advice. Then, okay, treat the pests first. I agree and agree and agree and agree and agree. And Andrew, way to go. Talk to me, buddy. We got to connect. You know your trees, and that's important. The pest treatment ASAP, and then you wash the leaves with a mild soap. Dawn is best. Dawn soap is awesome, and it'll actually unalive a lot of the insects as well by covering them and suffocating them. So black sooty mold caused by insects, treat for pests first, then you can wash the leaves with a mild soap to remove the existing mold, but pest treatment first. Dude, hit me up, Andrew. You got some solid advice you're giving out there, and that is exactly, Ashley, what I'm seeing as well. I think that's exactly, he's told a perfect history of what's going on with this magnolia. So follow that solid advice and hit me up if you want to do a closer inspection and get a digital arborist consultation. I'd love to help you. But yeah, that's solid advice, Andrew. Thank you so much for your participation in this group. Moving on, you guys. Let's do maybe 2 more, y'all. How's that sound? 2 more. We're at 1 hour and 8 minutes. All right, we have this row of 15 blue spruce trees planted in spring in Cleveland, Ohio. That would be the same as to say North Kentucky, by the way. Cleveland, I was just up there doing a conference. Yes, is Dawn dangerous for the tree like the dish soap? Hey, that's a great question, Sprouting Arborist. Not so much. It's not, I mean, anything chemical is not going to be ideal, and it does have some sense in it, so that is not natural. It's not an organic source, but Dawn soap is awesome. If you can find a bottle of the original scent, that's better, I think, humble opinion, because they've got a lot of research on it, and it does do a lot of benefits. But if you get the more modern version, it does have some extra chemicals. They changed the formula. We don't know. But if you can find the original formulation, that's the best. So anyways, we're moving on. Mike's asking, all but one are browning from the top up of these blue spruce trees, rather. My best guess right now is spore canker because of the white resin seeping. Can you tell me what is wrong with these trees? What I can do to help them? Let's see. Holy jumping. We got 28 comments here. Jesse Trevino. Jesse, I know, knows what he's talking about. What do you say that? What is this cytospore canker? That pruning cut was not made by us. I assume the nursery did it. Definitely sue the nursery. That's funny. Y'all, I got to get my daughter here in a minute, you guys. She's waking up from nap. It's a little past her bedtime. This is a real thing. If your nursery guys don't know that they actually have ANSI standards, then fire them without pay and find somebody that does. Came with a pathogen. You can make a case with the nursery. Certainly a very nice Google review. Won't hurt your argument. Sue, why not try calling them first? I actually agree. I would call them first and then sue. Yes, I would try to negotiate with them. Spraying our skies. Don't know what that means, but yeah, I'm a big nut job consultant. And y'all, they should stop cloud seeding. We're humans, y'all. We can't control nature. Could be rhizospheric needle cast. I agree. Blue spruce are especially prone in humid parts of the Midwest, but yours probably came infected. I agree. Yeah, I think it probably came from the nursery like that, honestly. Usually takes a few years. Get your money back or get a replacement of Black Hill spruce or Norway spruce. I think that would actually be a better option. Norway spruce would be a good option. Black Hill, I'm not too familiar with. But I know the blue spruce are hybridized AF. That's not antifungal. They're all sorts of genetically modified. So, yeah, I would talk to your nursery and say, hey, we planted this. All of a sudden, it's got a disease. Now, here's what you can do as well, Mike, is you can actually go to this website, find your state's local agriculture extension, and see if you can get them to confirm that which we're saying right now. See if you could get them to say, yeah, it's cytosporic canker. Yeah, it's cedar rust. Yeah, it's whatever. I don't know. I don't care. But see if you can get that, because if you can get them to say that and write it down or send you an email or whatever, rhizospheric needle cast. There's so many different pathogens that could be. But if it's only been in the ground for not long, this spring, 5 months, that disease probably came from the nursery. So yeah, I'm sorry you're dealing with that. So let's do one more and then we're going to call it for the night, you guys. Again, just thank y'all so much for being here. We've had a steady stream of awesome people like you guys that are there. And y'all, this is just an awesome group, and I'm excited to be a part of this. So I may have founded this group, but it's all about you guys. Like, this is why we're here, is to have just a conversation. We've got people from all over the U.S. that are, some of them are terrible arborists. Some of them are literally world-class arborists that I actually personally look up to. And we're getting some great conversations going. So need a tree company in Virginia and Maryland that have insurance. Owners can pass background check and want more tree insurance removal jobs. Please DM me for more information. It's free. Lucas, go ahead and kick that guy. Forget you, Justin. We're not looking for tree cares. Sorry about that. Tree related, but you're right. Not a tree question. We'll talk. We'll talk there, Justin. I'll give you a little grace on this one. But yeah, that's not what this group is all about. This group is all about coming on and answering y'all's great tree questions, because quite frankly, there's very few people that teach this stuff. By the way, speaking of teaching this stuff, if you want to have a steady stream of good quality tree care content, go onto YouTube, find us, just look up Arborist on Demand, Arborist like Tree Doctor on Demand, like your doctor on demand. And we're right there. Like I said, we're trying to grow this page and really make it just a great source of great quality information for you guys. So last question for the day. We got Christians asking, hello, I have several trees planted in autumn last year. Seems the leaves have a hard time this year. Could be due to high temperatures in July and August. Romania, what's up, Romania? Halfway across the world. Eastern Europe, and the temperatures here were 34 to 38 degrees Celsius. That's 93 to 101 Fahrenheit. What? That's unreal, Christian. That is so cool story. My wife, actually, I didn't get the chance to go, but in youth group growing up in my church in high school, I had the opportunity to go and do mission work in Bucharest, Romania. And unfortunately, I had some things going on in life. I did not have the opportunity to go. My wife actually spent a good solid week out there. And yeah, what a neat community. What a neat culture Romanian culture is. I know y'all are like very small country. You don't have a lot, but you probably don't hear that a lot, honestly. But Romania really is a neat culture. And, unfortunately, there's not a lot to do out there in Romania, but you do have some beautiful natural assets and resources. So, okay. Anyways, What could it be from fungal disease? Maybe. No, I think that is water disease. I think that's too much or too little. It maybe looks like too much. Loriodendron is the tulip tree, as well as a few more pictures from my Princeton Gold maple tree. Hope you can help point me in the right direction. Do this. Do this. Wait, if I can find it. Videos. Okay. Christian, I think what you're going for is you're going to need some water movement. Follow this advice because I think this will be a very, very important resource for you. But essentially, I think what you've got going on is you've got too much water pooling in the original planting site. Let's go ahead and go back to the whiteboard on this one because, Christian, I think this is important. Most people, when they plant their trees, they plant them wrong. That's not a personal knock on you, Christian. That's not a personal knock on anybody who plants trees. That is just the fact of the matter. I see it all the time, you guys. Here's your planting hole. Here's your planting container. The tree has zero room to grow and get established in its new growing environment. What you need is to expand the daylights out of this. By the way, NTA 300 standards. You want to make sure your root flares are exposed. Number two, so you got your root flares exposed. Very important. Number two, most important thing, you want to go 2 to 3 times the diameter of the original root ball. So if you've got a root ball that's like this, you want to go, let's say it's 12 inches. You want to go at least 12 inches on either side. So you got a 12-inch root ball. Make sure it's 36 inches or bigger. What this is going to do, you're going to remove all of that soil from around that area. And then you're going to pack it back in. Well, that's going to increase the oxygen levels in that soil. It's also going to have a much easier time getting established. So it's very, very, very critical that you make sure that the roots have plenty of time and room to grow and start getting established in their new growing environment. So what I would be willing to bet money that you probably was planted wrong. That's not personal, Christian. That's just what I see most of the time. And if you're a human, then you're probably going to make mistakes like me. I'm human too. And I'm not Jesus. I don't do everything perfect. So that's all there is to it. JK is asking a great question. How do you identify water damage versus fungal pathogen versus fungicide damage? Well, let's rule out one of those. Thanks for being here, JK. You've always been such a great supporter of this channel, and we'll just love having you here. So I am happy to answer all of your questions. Fungicide damage. Fungicide damage is typically going to be systemic across the whole plant. You're not going to notice anything big on the leaves. You're not going to notice anything big on the branches or the trunk tissue. What you will typically see is a stressed tree that has a lack of nutrients. So a lot of times the beneficial bacteria and fungus will actually chelate minerals out of the soil. So we have a term called chlorosis. And this is typically an iron or a manganese disease, and I say disease, or a lack of iron or manganese, or sometimes it's nitrogen, sometimes it's magnesium. You know, it really depends on what's going on. The only way to tell that is to pull a soil sample and compare that to a tissue sample. Both of those are going to be really important. That's going to help you determine what's in the soil and what's available to the tree based on what you find the difference is. So that chlorosis is going to show you a fungicide damage. And the reason being is the fungicide damages all those beneficial microbes, the endo and ecto mycorrhizal fungus that chelate minerals out of the soil and make them available to the tree. So a lot of times the fungicide will actually unalive those guys as well. But question about water damage versus fungal damage. Great question. Oh, I love that. So water damage, and again, let's go back to this. So if you notice, like the, hold on. Let me see if I can find one, because I remember there was one that was like spot on last week. So I go by like, this is exactly what it is, and then this is really close to it. So this is one we talked about earlier today, JK, and this is a great question. So this was, hey, what's going on? This, whenever you see crisping around the edges, so let's go back to the big screen here. Let's say you've got a leaf. It's like the worst leaf. I know, JK. I'm a terrible artist. I get it. But whenever you have crisping right around the edges of that leaf, 9 times out of 10, and there are exceptions, of course, that's going to be too much or too little water, one of the two. The question then we have to do is we have to talk to the person and say, what have you been doing? What were the conditions before the tree was planted? What have you been doing after the tree was planted? And that helps us to really identify, is it too much water? Is it too little water, etc. Fungal pathogens. Let's go to one with fungus. I didn't see a lot of fungal pathogens going on. Okay, so fungus is typically going to start on the leaves or in the vascular tissue. This, I believe, thank you, Luann, is for your great picture, is fungal. And the reason I think that, if you look, the leaves are, oh, where are we at? Hold on. There we go. So JK, if you notice here, the leaves are actually in really good shape. So the leaves on the outer edges it's got a nice dark green coloration. But if you notice in the actual vascular tissue, it starts from the center and radiates outward as a fungal pathogen. Yeah, I'm sorry, JK. I was trying to help. Can oak wilt also make the leaf edges crispy? Let me look up. Oak wilt symptoms, no, is the right answer there. They do, but it actually radiates from the veins. So let me look at this one in particular. So yeah, that's a really great question. Is can certain fungal pathogens look like too much or too little water? Yes, absolutely. So this is oak wilt. Typically, what you see is a combination of vascular wilt along with crisping. Interveinal chlorosis is what they call that. So whenever you have, there's a difference between interveinal chlorosis and veinal chlorosis. So that veinal chlorosis, whenever you see like radiating from the actual inside of the tree out, that's typically going to be fungus. Oh, they're not curled, but in the veins, it's suffering. No photo. Yeah, so we'll go back to this one. So this, if you notice how it starts in the stem, it starts in the branches and it radiates outward. That would be a vascular wilt disease. And essentially think of it like clogged arteries. As let's say we eat too much junk food and it clogs our arteries, clogs our veins. Well, that's going to radiate outward. It starts internal and it radiates outward. Now, there are different fungal pathogens. Sometimes you get foliar fungus, and we looked at one of those today as well. Let's go back to that one just for JK's sake. So we looked at foliar fungus. Where is it? Here. Leaf page. Yeah, I'm good with that. So if you notice here, the foliar fungus is actually not internal in the tree. It's actually on the outside, and it's growing on the leaf. Now, it will root into the leaf, and it will cause damage that way. But this actually blocks sunlight as the primary problem. So you've really got 3 types of fungal pathogens. You've got your vascular wilt. Where's my pen? Vascular wilt. You've got your basidiomycetes. Those are going to be your wood decay fungus. Excuse my terrible handwriting, y'all. And then you've got your foliar fungus. So those are the three main types of fungal pathogens that are going to attack your tree. Foliar fungus is going to be things like cytospora, black wilt, etc. They're not going to be a detrimental thing to the tree. By the way, sooty mold, powdery mildew is a foliar fungus. Those are most of the time going to be minor. They're going to be things that you can treat, that you can get the tree healthy and thriving. Wood decay fungus, so that's your foliar fungus. Your wood decay fungus, that's your tricky ones. These are the ones that are going to actually consume the cellulose, the lignins, and the hemicellulose in the cells. That's what gives your tree its strength. Whenever we see a basidiomycete, we look at what are the consequences if this tree were to fall, and we look at what are the likelihood of this tree falling. So if the likelihood is great, but the consequences are nothing, so what? Who cares? Let's let the tree fall and do its thing. It's going to feed future trees and future grasses, etc. It creates an ecosystem for bugs and birds and things like that, and things that are good for the whole environment as a whole. Whenever you've got vascular wilt diseases, these are things like fusarium. These are things like hypoxylin, Phytophthora, etc., and Berzomai. These are the ones that you really, really, really want to worry about with your tree's health. These are the ones that are going to clog the pores, clog the veins of the tree and prevent the tree from getting the resources from the roots up to the canopy that are important for the tree to live and thrive and survive. So those are really the three types. You've got your vascular wilt, you've got your wood decay, and you've got your foliar fungus. The foliar fungus, rake the leaves up in the fall. That's going to get rid of 90% of them. The vascular wilt, those are the ones that you're going to be fighting for a good portion of this tree's life. And then, of course, you've got the vascular wilt diseases. The vascular wilt is this tree the wood decay fungus. Those are the ones that you really need to determine, is it safe for you and your family? Is it safe for your neighbors? Are you going to get sued because this tree falls and it's a known problem? So anyways, those are your main three types of fungus. Yes, most of the time. Great question, JK. Are mushrooms the wood decay technically? Hold on just a second, y'all. Hi, sweet girl. It's me, your dad, and I love you. Yes, Gabe, can you get your sister, please? Yeah, go ahead and get her, buddy. I'm on dad duty, y'all. We got a shirtless kid up there picking up his sister. He's a good big brother, too, by the way. Unfortunately, that's so sketchy, you can't really see it. I love you, Eden Grace. I hope you had a good nap. That's her name, by the way. So, JK, yes, wood decay. The mushrooms that you see are typically going to be wood decay fungus. When you see the schizophylum, let's see. Schizophrenia, that's right. No, that's not right. What the heck am I talking about? When you see things like this, I don't know this guy, but schizophylum is a really common. Oh, I need to see my screen, don't you? So sometimes the smaller mushrooms you'll see here. I don't know who this guy is, but fungloom.com. That is schizophylum. That is a very, very, very common fungus. Sometimes you do see mushrooms on the vascular wilt type diseases. That is a vascular wilt type disease. But let me show you another one is Ganoderma. Oh, goodness. Applanatum, lucidum. Many of you have seen this on your tree or on a neighbor's tree or a tree in the forest. This is a wood decay fungus. What you're seeing is not the actual pathogen. It is, of course, but what you're seeing primarily is actually the fruiting body of the fungus. So, yeah. So mushrooms typically, not always, JK, typically those are going to be those wood decay fungus. So, yes. That is a great question. Y'all, this has been a fun process for me, and I'm so glad y'all joined me. We've got some great questions coming into this group, and I'm so glad, so grateful to be a part of this. We're going to call it here for today. Got another 5 days worth of questions coming in, and y'all, we are actively growing. This is unbelievable to me. Let me go through this one more time because this is nuts, you guys. Y'all are awesome, and all of you that are a part of this community are just what is making this community possible. So check it out. We've got 2,100 members. We started this like 10 months ago. We are actively growing at about 300. Whoa, 2110? Lucas, wasn't it like 2101 when we started this little conversation? So we got 400 visitors. 2,110 members of this group, you guys. This is largely becoming, I'm going to just call it, this is the best tree care knowledge and educational group out there. So we're so glad y'all are asking your questions. These are really important things. Trees are important to us, you guys. And it's important that we, as stewards of the trees that we love and live under, take care of them properly. So again, thank you all so much for your great questions. Thank you all for being here. Notice we've had a really steady group of followers on here, and I'm so glad to be a part of this community, and I'm so glad we started this group. So y'all continue with the great questions. We'll be right back at it next Thursday, 8 o'clock Central Time. We'll go until about 10 o'clock, so about a couple hours worth, and we'll go over as many of your great tree questions as possible. Do not hesitate to reach out if you need help with your trees. Again, my company is arboristondemand.com, and we do telemedicine for trees, and we love doing this, getting on, like what we're doing right now. If you'll notice, we're able to, most of the time, figure out what's going on. And this is just based on pictures, y'all. This is not even you guys asking me questions, me asking you questions. It's just straight up your questions. You post some pictures, and we're able to really figure out what's going on. And so, y'all, just keep that up. Telemedicine for trees is a real deal, which is exactly why I started my company, arboristondemand.com. And we realized a long time ago, I can have a bigger and greater influence just coming on here and figuring out what's wrong with your trees on a digital arborist consultation. So if you need a closer look at your trees, I'd love to help you out. Hit us up on the web at arboristondemand.com. Continue to bring those awesome tree questions, and we'll continue to bring you some great tree answers as well. Thank you guys again so much for being a part of this group. For those of you that have been with us live, thank you again for being here. Love you guys, and we'll see you guys next Thursday. Have a great evening.